A group of zombies came from the Condor shooting. The world of thousands of origins is in chaos? A group of zombies are coming to the Condor world? If someone had told him half an hour ago that the time travel events were real, he would definitely look at the other person like an idiot. But now, with a system in his mind that was too real to be true, Sumu had to believe these things. But no matter what, Sumu couldn't accept it. He was just lying in bed and watching a movie quietly, but a system somehow got into his mind, telling him that the task of saving a world was left to him. From this rescue system, Sumu learned the truth about some things. As the long years passed, in recent years, the vast space and time gradually lost control, and countless travelers inadvertently traveled to other worlds. Many of them have protagonists that Sumu has seen, such as the male protagonists in Myth and Crust for Chin. Most of these people are Earthlings in the world. In order to prevent more and more such people from traveling through time, the word plane was born. The system created countless planes for countless original worlds other than the Earth for these people to travel through at will, and also established time and space administrators to supervise them. However, what is unexpected is that as time passed, these origin worlds once again entered a situation of gradually getting out of control and chaos. Although the people on Earth in the vast world could not travel to these origin worlds, people in the origin worlds did travel to other origin worlds, causing a chaotic situation. For example, Sumu just received the news from the system that a group of zombies had arrived in the Condor world. Although Sumu wanted to say that it was none of his business, he just wanted to watch a movie quietly. But the system will not let him get what he wants. If he does not save the original worlds of these planes over a long period of time, the monsters and gods in these original worlds may open up the Great Thousand World, which is the time and space channel of the Earth, and then they will all come to the Great Thousand World. When he thought of that scene, Sumu couldn't sit still. He quickly washed his face, sobered up, and said, "System, how should I save these worlds? Is there any novice gift pack or something like that?" There are two methods of salvation. One is to bring the traveler back to his own original world. The other is to eliminate everyone and everything that does not belong to the original world. The host can freely choose whether to enter the original world. The system will not force it, and there is no novice gift pack. Note, during the journey, the host cannot carry anything in material form unless it takes the traveler back to his own original world. Sumu was dumbfounded and couldn't help complaining. What a broken system. Why are you so stingy? Once again, this system will not force the host to enter the original world. If the host insults the system again, the system will immediately open a channel to the Earth's time and space, and countless monsters will immediately enter the Earth. Don't stop. I was wrong. I will never say it again. Otherwise, I will become a sinner on the Earth and be infamy for thousands of years. Sumu was really drunk. This kind of broken system was so willful that he couldn't even say anything. Does the host need to enter the original world? Seeing that the system didn't seem to be caring, Sumu finally breathed a sigh of relief and said without thinking, "Okay, I'll die sooner or later, let's go." Detecting the original world, 10%, 30%, 60%, 96. Ding, the test is completed. The currently detected origin worlds are the Legend of the Condor Heroes, Dragon, Avengers, and Chef Fong carrying a pot in the flower room. The host does not have enough permissions to choose independently, and the origin world will be randomly selected. Selected in the lottery. Beep, beep, beep. A series of rapid sounds rang in his ears, making Sumu a little nervous. What world would he get? After the lottery is completed, the world that the host is about to enter is Legend of the Condor Heroes. The host is currently in F level, and the permission is freezing time, 1 month. The host can stay in the original world for 1 month. Once the freezing time is lifted, the host must leave immediately and unconditionally. Mission requirements: Eliminate all zombies in the original world. Mission reward, 10 rescue points. Sumu wanted to ask something else, but the system did not give him this chance. All he saw was a blur in front of his eyes, and he entered a hazy world, as if he was in chaos. A low and hoarse voice came from my ears. This is the mutated legend of the Condor heroes. On an unknown day, a group of zombies were accidentally drawn into a black hole and came to this pure land, starting another unknown journey of theirs. At that time, Wang Choumyang was still alive. During this time, he successfully completed the role change from an anti-gold hero to an anti-zombie hero, leading the remaining 4 elites to resist the zombies, leaving a home for mankind. Now, he has long been reduced to a pile of dead bones, and the 4 elites are fighting on their own. The court is ignorant, and the people are miserable. The old era has passed, and a new era is coming. You are welcome to join us, and I hope you can save this pure land. The haze in front of his eyes gradually dissipated, and the introduction in his ears gradually faded. Sumu seemed to be still immersed in the previous introduction. From the introduction, he could feel the suffering of the people and the inaction of the court. Scenes all around appeared in front of him, but what Sumu didn't expect was that in broad daylight, even though he was only on the trail, it was not so deserted and desolate. Within 100 meters, there were no birds singing and no human beings anywhere. The most terrifying thing was that there were several pools of blood on the ground, which showed that this place was indeed unsafe. It was just a breeze, but in this environment, Sumu felt as if a dark wind was blowing and his whole body shivered. At this moment, Sumu saw a staggering man walking dozens of meters in front of him. He couldn't see his face clearly from a distance, but he looked rather embarrassed and disheveled. He was originally limping and walking dully, but for some reason, he became particularly excited when he saw him and ran over immediately. Sumu walked up to the man without thinking and was about to inquire about the man's information. Who knew that when he got close to the man, he saw half of the man's face that had been chewed off. It was bloody and pitted. Sumu was startled. He quickly backed away, but he tripped over a stone and fell to the ground. "Don't come here, Mr. Zombie. My meat is full of fat and not delicious at all. Don't eat me." Only then did Sumu remember the previous introduction to the system. There were indeed zombies here, but he didn't expect that he would bump into them when he first arrived in this world. How local! If it weren't for the bitten flesh on his face, Sumu wouldn't be able to tell anything wrong from the way he was dressed. If it was night now, it is conceivable that Sumu might have died without knowing how. The zombies completely ignored Sumu's soliloquy and continued to claw at him with waving claws. Although Sumu had seen zombies countless times on TV, this was the first time he experienced it in person. He felt a strong, disgusting, rotten smell surrounding him. But this was not the scariest thing. The scariest thing was that he was truly facing the line between life and death for the first time. The intense terror in his heart had been suppressed in his heart, making his mind go blank and his whole body weak. How could he still have the strength to escape? Ouch! At this moment, a dozen zombies roaring crazily crawled out from the grass on both sides again. They all came after smelling the human scent on Sumu. When they saw Sumu, they immediately ran over as if they'd seen the most delicious meal. /P. Chapter 2 Mayu. Your uncle, I have a grudge against you. Sumu was awakened by the huge movement. When he came back to his senses, he felt like crying without tears when he saw the scene in front of him. He was filled with grief and anger. He just wanted to find a place to watch a movie quietly. As for you, don't you feel particularly kind to me, who is also a time traveler? You all came here. /P. As the saying goes, when a fellow villager meets a fellow villager, tears well up in his eyes. We can be considered a different kind of fellow villagers, right? /P. These zombies will not give up their appetite for Sumu just because he is a fellow countryman. Just like you would care that the fish in your bowl grew up in the same town as you and not eat it, I'm afraid it will taste more delicious. Slash P. Zombies swarmed in one after another, but pushed the crippled zombie to the side of the grass. The crippled zombie still didn't give up its food and crawled on the ground with its hands full of blood. Slash P. The rest of the zombies were even more crazy. One by one, their faces were gnawed so deep that the bones were visible. Maggots came in and out 3 times, or more than half of them were eaten by several mouthfuls, with half of their skin still hanging on their faces. Some had bright blood flowing from their mouths, but they didn't seem to feel any pain at all. They surrounded Sumu excitedly. Slash P. Goo goo. Slash P. Sumu looked up blankly at the zombies surrounding him from all directions. The scene was like a large group of people fighting around one person when he was a child. His throat squirmed unconsciously, and he swallowed hard. Slash P. Although he had seen many disgusting-looking zombies in movies, the ones he saw in movies were no more realistic than in reality. Especially when so many zombies surrounded you. So many disgusting faces were so close, and blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. Sumu felt as if countless bugs were crawling in and out of his body. It was so disgusting that he wanted to vomit. Slash P. Sumu was completely desperate. Just now, he kept calling the system in his heart, but the system didn't respond at all. Obviously, it wouldn't care even if he died. Did he really have to die at the mouth of these disgusting zombies just after he traveled through time? Slash P. Sure enough, not everyone is made to be the protagonist, and he should be lying in bed watching movies. But at this time, he could only watch as he was about to be devoured by these zombies one by one. Slash P. You evil beast, how dare you? Slash P. Yohu. A loud roar, like spring thunder, a thunderbolt in the clear sky within 100 miles. Slash P. Then Sumu saw a middle-aged Taoist priest using Qigong, flying quickly from more than 10 meters away. With just a few taps of his feet, like a dragonfly touching water, the figure flew close to him from more than 10 meters away. Slash P. There was a choking sound, the sword light flashed, and at some point, a simple and restrained longsword appeared in the Taoist priest's hand, stabbing straight at the zombies. Slash P. The zombies seemed to smell the human scent of the Taoist priest and dispersed part of their energy, but several of them still focused their energy on Sumu, who was already looking stupid at this time. Slash P. Is this the legendary Qigong? Within 100 meters, he could step into the air instantly. Within 1,000 meters, he could come in an instant. It was really magical, but I don't know if he was a match for these zombies. Slash P. The next second, the Taoist priest directly gave Sumu the answer. When he was approaching the zombie, the Taoist priest suddenly moved, his wrist shook dexterously, and his figure changed rapidly, turning into blurry black shadows. Slash P. In the past, people always kept in mind a classic summary. Never be surrounded by zombies, otherwise you'll have to wait for death. Slash P. However, the scene in front of him now completely piqued Sumu's values for fighting zombies. The Taoist priest deliberately approached the zombies and then kept moving and changing his figure in the zombies. The sword in his hand was like a poisonous snake. Every time he struck, he would pierce the head of a zombie. Then, with a flick of his wrist, the head was immediately smashed into pieces and blood splashed everywhere like watermelon juice. Slash P. It only took a few breaths for more than a dozen zombies to be killed. When Sumu came to his senses, he saw the tip of the Taoist sword shaking and a drop of blood falling to the ground. At the same time, there was a pop sound behind him, and he saw the head of the last zombie standing behind him suddenly exploded like a watermelon, and red and white ones splashed to the ground. Slash P. The dozen zombies that had surrounded Sumu before fell to the ground one after another. For a moment, the trail suddenly became silent. Although the sun was shining brightly, Sumu couldn't help but shudder. Slash P. If it hadn't been for the Taoist priest in front of me who saved me, I would have almost died just now. Thinking about it, I feel so scared. Slash P. At this time, the middle-aged Taoist priest had sheathed his long sword and walked towards him. /P. I'm here to teach Ma, Yu Qiuanjin. I wonder what I call my little brother? Are you injured? Ma Yu asked, holding his sword in his hands, with a kind and warm smile on his face. /P. Ma Yu. He turned out to be Ma Yu, the one who taught Guojing Jin Yen Kung Fu. /P. Su Mu was very excited. He didn't expect to see Ma Yu, the second-generation leader of the Qiuanjin sect. The most important thing is that he has a good sense of Ma Yu. On TV, the Jiangnan Seven Monsters taught Guojing for more than 10 years without making any progress. However, Ma Yu only taught the inner skills for 2 years, and Guojing became a master of internal skills. If it weren't for the superior Qigong taught by Ma Yu, Guojing would not have achieved as much as he did later, even if he learned the 18 dragon subduing palms. /P. Think about the fact that Yaluki, who had a weak foundation, practiced the 18 dragon subduing palms into the 3-legged cat kung fu, and Shi Hulong, who was even inferior to Yaluki, was even more obsessed with it. This shows that although the 18 dragon subduing palms are powerful, the starting point of practice is also very high. /P. My surname is Su Xinjuan, and my courtesy name is Mu.